Hello, I'm High Heel Knight. Welcome to my live stream. I am still setting things up, even though I've been at this for over a week. I'm still learning things as I go. So please forgive me. I do have to finish up some last minute things. So I'll be looking at my phones and things like that. But I definitely want to thank you for checking out the stream because it's going to be brief, but it's an important topic. And during the previous streams, we've highlighted the topic here and there, but I wanted to at least have one stream dedicated to this particular topic. And I'm calling it what essentially legalized or semi-legal crime. You know, it's not technically illegal, but it's really not something proper, or the government is enacting rules that are technically legal for them to do, but they're knocking on authoritarianism and oppression with some of these, aggressive safety protocols, so that's what this subject is about. And the title is "She Ought to Be Locked Up and Never Released," from the famous song Cruella de Vil of the 101 Dalmatians Disney movie. And I really hope they'll have that song featured somehow when they do the Cruella de Vil movie. I love the animated version of 101 Dalmatians. I even watched a couple of the cartoon series. I saw the sequel 102 Dalmatians. That was the live action with Glenn Close. That live action Glenn Close 101 Dalmatians is my favorite live action Disney movie before they went all crazy with making live action movies. That's my favorite live action movie. So I'm still setting up, apologize that. But but basically, and of course, people are still going crazy. We had those early hoarders, causing shortages and things like that, and buying up stuff, which again was legal, but really not proper. So I'm going to switch to my other camera here. As soon as I plug it in. Oh, yes. I do apologize, folks. It's just that, today was a bizarre day. Things just sort of go slowly. Things that normally were simple a month ago sometimes take a little longer because certain people are in the building. I basically had to go out and do something. You can only allow a certain amount of people in the building at the time, so you got to wait outside, let me in, then come, and things like that. Or I went to go get something serviced, and of course they're only half staff because people are either sick or the building only have so many people and things like that. So yeah, it's been a strange day, a strange time. All right, so now I'm going to switch to my other camera. That's fun, plugged in. Yay! All right, and I've already pre-written some of the topics I wanted to talk about because I wanted to make sure I got to them. So I'm not totally terrible at this. Okay, so as I was saying, I was planning on having this live stream somewhere in the middle of the afternoon because it's just a relatively brief topic, but I'm glad I went now because my brother told me that there was a new mandate starting at midnight tonight, Wednesday, and going to the foreseeable future. Now, you said that everyone out in public had to wear masks. And I thought to myself, no, that can't be right. Where's you getting it from? I want to verify that. So I went to verify that. And the rule is going to be that at public businesses, if you got to go shopping or if you're going to go to a major business, have a lot of people and things like that, then you have to wear a mask. That's in Miami, Florida, starting midnight tonight. And basically, yeah, so the people that work there have to have masks or some type of covering. The customers have to have some that mask on. Pretty much everyone into the building. Now they are going to give a bit of a grace period. They don't because they don't. Yeah, obviously that news is going to disseminate amongst the people, and people don't have masks. I mean, that's one of the major shortages. Hospitals and medical facilities are running low on masks and personal protection supplies. And if they're running low, certainly the average person is running low. And then you have those problems. Okay, well, some people have scarves and tying the scarf, or there have been all types of videos on YouTube try to make a mask. One person displayed how to take a maxi pad and cover your face with a maxi pad, or trying to knit a mask. And it's even more frustrating because when this all started back in March, the government and the president was saying, well, don't bother with the mask. The only specific type of mask protect you from COVID-19. So wearing masks that you could buy sort of like, at the shopping centers probably wouldn't protect you. But now in Miami, which is how they did this, they want everyone to wear masks in those major public places and gathering places. And yes, that's to protect you, but so many government mandates and rules start off as to protect the people, and it winds up leading to some type of authoritarianism. For instance, we got, let's see, let me switch colors here. So we got over in like other countries, like we got aggressive quarantine measures. Last time you hear the news say, well, these other countries, they are doing so bad because they've done some aggressive quarantine measures. They track people who have it, who contacted them, isolate them, and now they've sort of like been able to reduce the curve faster and things like that, which sounds all in good. But when you say the government is gathering people, the government is gathering people, tracking their movements, isolating people they're interacting with, all for public safety, that's a heartbeat away from authoritarianism, just in nature. I wish I could switch back and forth to cameras. There's got to be a way I can switch back and forth to cameras faster. Maybe I got to get the updated service. Anyway, so this is just certainly extreme circumstances, but so now we got Miami, and it's not just Miami. There are other cities in Florida and in the coast and things like that have some type of aggressive mandates. I'm in New Jersey. There was already a curfew measure from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. that was sort of hinted out during March, but now it's April, and they're going to start being more firm about it. So unless you're going to or from work or going to or from some type of hospital or things like that, you should be off the roads during that time. But anyway, the mayor was saying, like, hopefully they want to issue fines for people violating this rule. And I'm thinking, even if people find a way to cover themselves, what happens if, say, the mask breaks? Do they have to leave the store? Or, they have a kid who refuses to keep his mask on? Do they have to leave the store because, the kid is finicky or things like that? It's just odd to give out this rule so swiftly. And again, hopefully there'll be a great. I'd imagine at least until like Monday, give it a weekend. But still, it's people don't have masks. You have a better chance of people just saying, okay, keep a ketchup bottle in your pocket, than wear a mask and cover a mask and keep gloves in there. It's for our safety, but with these aggressive quarantine measures done by cities, done by states, done by government, it's some so close to authoritarianism. And I remember, like I said, in Italy, they're trying to be so aggressive that some mayors have like told college kids don't have graduation parties or else we'll send the police with flamethrowers. So, and in our country, not doing now, but it wasn't too long ago, we had the Patriot Act. Okay? The Patriot Act, which took place after 9/11, because, we got to go get the war on terrorism. You got to get the terrorists and things like that. And you're get detaining people indefinitely. And I don't know what the rules are for people that are for foreigners, but when it comes to United States citizens, we have certain rights. So I don't know if there have been Native American citizens that have been caught up with this Patriot Act, but yeah, it gave the president and the government an ability to monitor us, to track us, to detain us, and definitely we found a threat and things like that. It's a violation of our constitutional rights. And this Patriot Act, as far as I know, is still operating. I think President Obama wanted to let go of some of the things, but I do know that he kept some of them internally. And I believe he was also supposed to close Guantanamo Bay, and I didn't have a chance to look up if Guantanamo Bay is still operating, but I do believe that he at least didn't close it during his first term. That was, I think, one of the things he ran on. He's going to close Guantanamo Bay, and then he didn't close it at least during his first term. So, yeah, a lot of these things to try to keep us safe, to protect us, very easily winds up leading to authoritarian government. And now we had the elections. So this past Tuesday, we had elections in Wisconsin, and Democratic Party tried to postpone the election. Republican Party blocked it. So basically, Wisconsin had around like 200 polling places or 280 polling places, cut down to like less than 10. You had lines going for blocks. People were trying to exercise their constitutional right, but at the same time putting themselves in danger because they have to be around these people, around people for a long period of times. And the polling places closed down because there weren't anyone to operate the polling places. And so Bernie Sanders has dropped out of the election officially today. So it will be Biden versus Trump in November. But hopefully by November, we'll all have some type of normality so we can all go into polling places, because if we don't, then no telling what's going to happen if we got crazy voting problems going. We've already gone through crazy voting twice. Thanks, Florida. We already went through crazy elections twice in my lifetime. I don't want to go into another crazy election because some polling places are open, some aren't. Some people are allowing mail-in votes, some not. Some people vote early, some not. So yeah, it's just crazy right now. Next topic: early hoarders creating shortages. Now this is something that's really problematic. And my friend Jill Lantern, she's been talking about the way people are going crazy, things like that. Like early hoarders, a lot of people who bought, several rolls of toilet paper, several rolls of packs of meat. There was one report where this couple bought like all the meat in the store, packed up their truck, and people were complaining, "Why are you buying up all the meat? Why buy the meat?" And the woman just said, "Well, why don't you go complain to the store to let us buy all this stuff?" And you wonder, like, should the managers have stepped in early, telling people, "Okay, you can't buy the whole store of meat." As much as we want to make money, we know we got to have meat for other people. And now we have this shortages where essential items are only being made or supplied and things like that. And it's driving people slowly crazy. I've been very fortunate. I have not run into any problems. Whenever I've gone out, people have been friendly, they've been respectful, they try to keep the distance and cover things like that. Try to keep the spirits alive. I've had a pretty pleasant time, and I'm very thankful for that. But I know there are some folks that don't, that there have been fights and arguments that have broken out. A friend, the Tatemizer, he had to wait for 3 buses because the buses couldn't allow 10 people. And while he was on the bus, there were these people that got into an argument about how many people were on the bus and things like that. It's going crazy. We have all these shortages, we have all these limits, but we're still trying to maintain society. And it's strange. When I went shopping today, I went to ShopRite, and they had like, I think 3 or 4 packs of toilet paper left. And all right, hold on. One of my friends is asking for the link. Let me set that up. Oh, wait a minute. What's going on? Yo, Lantern, if you're watching, it says device not connected. You might have to try again. Hey, all right, there she is. I'll give you a few seconds to give me a thumbs up when you're ready to join in. All right, coming in. All right, yep. I pushed the button. There you are.
Hello.
There you are. Hello. Welcome. Have you Are you just coming in now, or did you see like how this how the beginning?
No, I'm sorry. I'm just coming in now. I'm late.
That's okay. That's okay. You have been talking about how people have been going nuts out there. Where I'm on my third topic, but I'll definitely come back to the previous two because I love your input on it. But we have right now talking about the early hoarders, the people who bought up tons of paper towels, tons of meats, tons of supplies, and now we're running short. And you wonder, like, should the manager stepped in earlier to put limits on these purchases? And and are they? Should penalties be done to people who have tried to do that? Fortunately, eBay and other websites have tried to crack down on that. So, but like, tell me about the crazy things that are going on. I've been fortunate. I haven't experienced any crazy things directly, but I know you've heard and seen things. So, tell me about that while I try to invite. I'm going to try to invite one more person in here.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I had no idea that people would hoard like this, or maybe like at the level or the items that they've hoarded. Because I know, living in Florida for 15 years, if there's a hurricane, people want to get water and candles. Totally get that. I had no idea people needed to hoard such random items, but I have not been able to find toilet paper here in Texas in 4 or 5 weeks at the store. All the canned goods, frozen foods, it's just, I can't believe how stuff is still gone. Now it's getting a little better. Last time I was at the store, I was able to get more items, but I still wasn't able to get everything on my typical weekly grocery list because things were gone.
Have you been able to score any toilet paper or paper towels and things like that, paper goods?
I have not found any. People have been hooking me up, helping me out, so I'm okay.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but I'm floored.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have run into an interesting situation, and I'm about to add the banner here. It's going to be "She Ought to Be Locked Up and Never Released." That has absolutely nothing to do with Jill Lantern or the other guests that hopefully will come in. That's just the lyric of the song, folks. Let me see that banner here. Let me see how much does that cover. I might have to switch to scrolling. No,
Who's coming in?
Hopefully, Tamara. Let me edit that so it's scrolling. I want to block people's names here. Oh, okay, that's better. I want to make sure our names are shown. Yeah, she just asked for the link, so hopefully she'll be joining in a few minutes. So I went shopping, and actually I've been pretty fortunate so far. Bread items have been good, but when it comes to the toilet paper, I found something very interesting. I went to the shop, right? They had about 3 packs left. Like multi-pack, 6-pack or 8-pack and things like that. Of course, you buy one to a customer. But as I was outside, you have to wait. You have to wait till you be let in. They have a line in 6 feet apart. There's another store, one of those independent, mom and pop stores. It's in an outside like strip mall, and outside of it, there was like 40 rolls of toilet paper in the window. 2 types of brands of toilet paper. Matter of fact, what am I doing? Let me switch my other camera. So you're not talking to a hand for this.
So why weren't people buying that toilet paper?
Well, I didn't have a chance to go inside because I was so behind what I was doing for the day.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, there you are.
Okay, yeah, I was switching microphones.
Okay.
So I wasn't able to go to the store, but I had to go there tomorrow because I got a red box rental, and I always prefer to put the rentals back into the box I got them because especially it's a kids movie, so I want to. And a lot of kids go there, parents have feel. But anyway, so the other places they had toilet paper, and I was wondering, I wonder if they're price gouging because that's the next topic. Next topic is price gouging. Where is it? There we go. And so you got one store that has next to nothing with toilet paper, but another store literally up right from it with several rolls of toilet paper. I'm wondering if they've jacked up that price. So tomorrow when I go in, I'm going to go in there. I'll say, hey, how much is your toilet paper? And if it's like $5 a roll or something like that, that's going to be ridiculous. Or worse, if they're somehow like not selling it and using it just as a way to draw people into the store. You know, just because you come into the store doesn't mean they have to sell it to you. So that could be it too. Like, oh yeah, look, we have toilet paper. I'm not going to sell it to you. Or we'll sell you one. And you know, obviously, I don't want to, you know, people hoarding that toilet paper, but still, but it is strange. One store, and it's like unless people really want those ShopRite, you know, special card discount things, right? Or people just haven't noticed them because they're so accustomed to go to the ShopRite, they ignore the mom and pop store. So I'm going to go in there and check that out. But have you seen any outrageous price gouging or attempts or things like that? Or
yeah, I mean, nothing in like the big chains. Like I normally grocery shop at Whole Foods, and I go to Walgreens for some supplies. So of course, you know, there's not price gouging there. They can't because it's illegal.
mm-hmm.
But I went to the farmers market last weekend to support some local businesses, people that are making their goods from scratch, and it was really nice to be out at the farmers market. It was open and there were people there, so that was uplifting. But one guy that was selling, I can't even remember, he was selling some homemade food, but then he was also selling little tiny bottles of hand sanitizer, homemade, for $10.
Yeah, that's crazy.
People are probably gonna buy it, but
yeah. And you hope that, and because it's homemade, you hope it works. You hope it's good. You hope it doesn't sound like he's a scammer, but there's a lot of folks, you know, this is a great time for snake oil salesmen. You know, people.
Oh yeah.
Even the president, he mentioned that whatever that new drug said people can try if they want, and say, well, he sort of sounds like a snake oil salesman because his drug is potentially works, but there's no clear possibility, and there are some dangerous side effects coming. Okay, oh right, here she is. She's coming in. All right, give me a thumbs up when you're ready to come in. I'll bring you in. Here she comes. Our good friend Tamara, better known as Mama T. How are you?
I'm good.
Can you hear us? Good.
Hey.
So we're talking about price gouging at this moment. Are you just now coming into the program? Have you seen anything that came on earlier?
Just now coming.
No? Okay. All right, that's fine. Well, we're talking about price gouging. I went to ShopRite, and in ShopRite, they only had about 3 packs of toilet paper left. But at a mom and pop store right next to the shop, as you're waiting in line to get into the store, they had like 80 rolls of individual rolls of toilet paper. I didn't get a chance to go into the store, but tomorrow I need to go back there, and I'm going to purchase your toilet paper. And I'm wondering if they're charging like $5 a roll or something like that, price gouge, or if it's a matter of they're not actually selling it. Like it's just something to bring people into the program. Are you still there, Jill?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm listening. Yeah, still here.
Okay. So we're talking about price gouging or price manipulation, and Jill was just saying that someone was selling homemade hand sanitizer, and it sounds like the person is being legit trying to be helpful. But this is a perfect opportunity for snake oil salesmen, as people become desperate for supplies. You know, people willing to buy things off the street or sell, and try to sell things. And so have you experienced any price gouging or price problems? Have you been able to get essential things like toilet paper and things like that still? I think you did last week, but yeah, how is the prices or things right there?
I haven't really had any issues. We normally buy from Sam's. So we normally buy in bulk anyway. So we had a little bit. And then when everybody was buying the PP, some people bought up PP and then they kind of divided it around the moms that are here that had to kind of tide us over. So I haven't needed any supplies. They have no hand soap. As I was walking out of Publix, somebody stopped me and said, "Oh, I see you have kids." I'm like, "Yeah," because I was driving my minivan, and they're like, "Oh, do you have enough bleach at home?" And I'm like, "Nope, but you can't find any anywhere, and I'm not gonna fight tooth and nail just to get it." So
Mm-hmm.
she opened the back of her trunk and pulled out a bottle of bleach and gave it to me. And that's kind of what we
Just gave it.
she just gave it to me. She didn't charge me for it.
How many bottles
Well,
of bleach did she have in the back of her car?
3.
You need some bleach?
She just had 3.
You need some bleach?
It wasn't like no black market little side hustle she was doing. She actually worked for the state and she was picking up supplies. But here I am in my van, and she noticed that all I had was a little bit of groceries, and she wanted to make sure that we were taken care of. So she gave us 6 rolls of toilet paper, 2 rolls of paper towels, and a bottle of bleach.
Well, that's wonderful.
Today
I
got into a car accident. Driving to pick up a 10-ounce bottle of alcohol. Not the drinking kind. I wish it was a drinking kind, but it wasn't. I don't even drink anyway, so but it's 99% alcohol. So what I'm gonna do tomorrow is I'm gonna go harvest some of my aloe vera plant. Then I put it in the blender, blend it up, and then I mix. There's like 3 more steps, but I'm not teaching you guys how to do aloe vera. Then you mix the aloe vera plant with the alcohol, and it makes a hand sanitizer. I'm gonna make my own, and I have the alcohol that I need, and the alcohol is gonna prevent the germs from spreading. I just got to keep it in the fridge, I was told, which I can do that. I just have to make sure everybody knows, do not drink this. This is not food. I mean, then they'll be clean from the inside out as well. So.
Well, that's good. Now I want to go back to the topic that I started with the stream again, because Mama T, you live in Florida. Joe Lantern and I, we previously lived in Florida. So I just found this out about an hour and a half ago from my brother, who didn't get the story right. He told me that in Miami, starting tomorrow, everyone out in public had to wear masks. I was like, no, let me go check that. But I did check it. So starting midnight tonight, when you go to stores or businesses inside, everyone has to have masks or some type of facial covering. So the customers, the shop owners, the employees, the security, if you're going inside those buildings, you have to wear masks. Now they said they want to try to offer a grace period. So hopefully at least by Monday, everyone will have it. But he said, yeah, if it becomes a problem, then fines, later on, potentially arrests, hopefully not. But still, I just find it interesting because masks are one of the major shortages of this problem. Like hospitals and healthcare centers and things, they don't have masks.
Actually, what people are doing, they're making masks. I have 2 possible people that are sending me masks at no charge. So I'm getting 3 masks. My kids don't go out anywhere with me. So right now, if we get 3 masks, we have 1 for me, 1 for Dawn, and then 1 for Kenny. If we have to go out, we have that covering.
Right. But I just find it.
Yeah, I haven't heard.
I just find it. Go ahead.
I was like, I haven't heard anything about it being in Polk County yet, but I think it might be coming. But we still got the masks ordered. And I'm kind of thrifty, so I can probably make one if push comes to shove. Like I will figure it out. Like I'll put like a sanitary napkin inside a tissue so that it kind of like protects my face. Because you gotta have they actually say that they want you to have like you need a barrier between just the cloth, because just the cloth is not enough. So you need a second barrier to keep out the germs.
But my problem is, along with the being shortage, not everyone's going to be crafty enough to have something. Some people can't necessarily buy a scarf, and it's just the sort of out of nowhereness of it. I mean, I have, obviously I'm not in Miami, Miami, other counties have issues similar things. But like, I find it almost unfair that we're just tossing this burden on people. And I'm wondering, well, if you do have a covering, what happens if the covering comes off? What happens if the covering is damaged? Do you have to leave the store? Do you have to leave the shop? What if you got a kid that refuses to keep his, mask and covering on?
They are
what if,
actually asking that we do not bring our children to the store, that it is a one person per cart. I mean, obviously, you're going to have your single parents that can't just not take the kids with them. I mean, they don't want you to leave the kids in the car, and you're not obviously not going to leave a newborn or a 0 to 10-year-old at home by themselves with no supervision. But if you can help it, they're saying do not bring your kids to the store.
Well,
they want one person per cart kind of ordeal.
Well, over in Texas, have they made any crazy or interesting mandates to the public yet, or at least in your area? Do you know, Jill?
I mean, I think all of this is crazy, but if you're talking about like mandating wearing masks, no.
Well, do you feel it's fair as far as the timing? That sort of just say, okay, now we're just going to do this. We're like usually, with it's obviously it's an emergency situation, but it seems such a unique request. Like you'd have an easier time saying everybody carry a bottle of ketchup in your pocket, as opposed to everybody just start wearing masks all day.
I think if I am ever going to get arrested in my lifetime, it's going to be now. That's what I think.
Well, actually, that does lead to a good the topic afterwards, is that a lot of the other countries have done aggressive measures to handle this problem. And my concern is so many things, especially when it comes to oppression, start with protecting us, like the Patriot Act, detaining people indefinitely, surveillance and other kind of things. The Patriot Act. I don't know if Guantanamo Bay is still open, but I believe President Obama said he's going to close Guantanamo Bay, and I don't think he did it on. If it is closed, he definitely didn't do it on his first term, like he promised. And it's like all these things they start up as just to protect us, to keep us safe. Yet more and more, like, okay, don't do this, don't go here. This has to close at a certain time. This amount of people in the building, and now, as you said, try to avoid bringing your kids to shopping, one person a cart and things like that. It just feels like we are just knocking on the door of that authoritarianism, and it's so many things become for our safeties, for our protection. And I know, like you had, I think some similar feelings about that, Jill. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. It's not a very popular opinion.
Well, that's okay. If you decide to share that popular opinion, I would love to hear it, because all views are welcome here. I mean, if you don't want, you don't have to.
Yeah, it's just hard to, and it's think that there's not something more to this.
Mm-hmm. Or worse, once things do go back to normal, what rules will go away? Will it still say, like, okay, have masks on him? Like, a lot of businesses had the personal protection rules. Are masks and gloves going to be, a continued mandate?
Do you really think we're going to go back to normal? Like after this, like a lot of.
Well, I do this when I say normal, but we got to at some point. We're social creatures. We need to interact with people. Our economy, our lifestyle, everything about us is based on interaction.
I'll tell you.
Some point, we got to interact.
If I got to do this homeschooling, I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off. I apologize. But if I got to do this homeschooling for like the rest of my son's life because of social distancing, I think I'm going to say, you know what? Let's just say that you graduated college now, and we'll be done with it. And like, I will take care of you as often as I can. Like, this is not easy. Just try to get him like back into like a routine, because had a routine, get up at 7 a.m. every morning, be ready to leave by 7:30, go to school, stay at school, and then go to the YMCA, stay at the YMCA until 6 o'clock so I picked them up after work. Like, there was a routine set up, and now it's like, to hell with the routine. Wake up whenever you damn well please, because, like, you don't even have to wake up in the morning. Shoes, don't worry about putting shoes on because you ain't going nowhere. Pants, that's up to you. Like, your teacher isn't gonna see you in your underwear doing your little smarty pants thing. It's like he has there's no sense of routine. So I'm pretty sure like they gotta figure something out.
Well, let me go to this one more topic. So obviously, you know, a lot of places have to close down because they're not essential locations. For instance, but there are companies that would try to stay open no matter what. So, for instance, the GameStop stores, they try to claim they were an essential service because they had electronics and they, you know, add to the quality of life. That didn't fly. So a lot of the stores had to close. There's only a handful of this around the nation still open. And this past weekend was WrestleMania, and pro wrestling isn't really designed to stop. It just goes and goes and goes. So the WWE and AEW, they've been trying to find warehouses in Georgia or Florida to still create content. You know, even though a lot of people say, look, just put the show on pause, put everything on pause and stop. And now I just learned that Dana White of the UFC fighting, he plans on moving his operation to a private island in order to maintain his fights and stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, a private island for a fighting tournament, that's a super villain. That's Han from Enter the Dragon. That's Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat. And it's like these legal operations are slowly becoming underground cabals, like the Prohibition era. So that's another thing I said. That's why I feel like these got to get back to normal, because we couldn't have the legal stuff becoming illegal because there's all these companies that determine that they open. So, Bill, let me start with you. Have you heard about any companies determined to stay open or organizations defying orders? We already talked about like we got Easter coming up. A lot of people are going to want to, you know, go to their churches and stuff like that. So, you know, have you heard about any companies trying to stay open or defy the rules, defy the laws, or anything like that? Or what do you think about those companies that try to maintain operations, even if they got to go to a private island?
I haven't heard about that. I didn't even know that about GameStop. That's interesting. But I mean, if he has the money to go to a private island and it's that important to him, I guess go for it. That's quite the adventure. It kind of seems like, from a business standpoint, that might be an extravagant use of funds, but whatever. I'll tell you what I do think is ridiculous, kind of on the reverse end of that. So really, I'm still wanting to go out and about and live my life the best way that I possibly can. So excuse me 1 second. Hey, no sir. Sorry, my cat's scratching on the couch. But anyway, so I'm wanting to go out and live my life. So what we've been doing on the weekends is going to the parks, because that's the only place we can go. And the city of Austin has said that they're closing all parks Easter weekend from Friday through Monday morning, because, and I quote, a lot of people like to go to the parks for Easter weekend, so we're closing. It was maybe said a little more eloquently than that, but it just seems like a really shitty thing to do, because that's literally all that we have. And it's a public park. We pay for that. There's acres and acres of land, you know, and if people are really that fearful, they're not going to go. Don't go. It's not a building. Yeah, I think just the fact that they were like, hey, we know a lot of you guys want to go to the park, so therefore we're going to close it. It'll be open again on Monday. That, I mean, that, it I don't know, it seems really heartless.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's
Actually,
kind of like when they're closing Disney.
Hold on. Let me get my point there. With the park, actually, I had to get my car worked on today just a little bit, and it's in about 2 hours. And there's a park like down the block, and I was thinking, okay, well, I can. There was because the lobby to the auto shop was closed. Well, they wouldn't let people stay in the lobby. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I can just go to the park. That's how I went to the park, and they got the entranceways taped up with a caution tape. It's like, oh, I guess the park is closed. And like, all I want to do is just sit down for 2 hours, and I can't even do that at the park. And it's just so, yeah, it is frustration. So what were you saying, Mama T?
The park that we have down here, it's so busy, so it wouldn't follow the social, And we have a big park too. It's Lake Parker. I think you've been there, Lance. It's in Lakeland.
Mm-hmm.
But it is so busy over there. On the weekends, you can't even find a spot unless you go at like 7 a.m. when the gates open, and like sit down and reserve your party at like 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, you're not gonna get a picnic table. You're not gonna get nothing. So it's kind of like, I can see why they're gonna do it, because people aren't gonna be following the guidelines, and in order to slow the where's my fingers at? Slow the spread. They got to keep social distancing, and if people are doing mass gatherings at a park on the busiest weekend, it's gonna be a potential for a higher spike, and they kind of want to prevent that, which I get, but it's dumb. I can't even take my kid to the park. I can't even take my kid to the grocery store with me.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying, well, we got to get back to normal, some type of normalcy, because they'll be because if we don't, there'll be a boiling point and people will start rebelling. Right now everything's crazy. I've been fortunate not to experience any major negativity, but as Tater Miser was said a couple last week, how we went on the bus when he eventually got a bus. There were some folks arguing about how many people are allowed on the bus. Big old brouhaha about being on the bus. So now we got all these people inside our homes. We are not designed to be in our home for a long period of time. I'm a gay. I say in my home a lot. That's where a lot of this came from, But still, you tell now millions of people, yeah, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. Eventually, it will blow up, and that's my concern. I don't want us to blow up. We got to have some type of one.
And that's why GameStop wants to stay open.
Well, they talk about, how free we are as Americans and how many rights we have. But look how quickly they took our rights away, and everybody just went along with it overnight.
Yeah, and that's all. That's what I'm saying. We how easy, even it's like some gun stores. I think some kind of city like close down the gun stores, and guns are part of our constitutional right. So if anything, by default, there will be an essential service.
In Washington State, I believe if I keep my facts straight here, gun store and marijuana shops were deemed essential, and anywhere that sold alcohol were deemed essential. Because if you take away a pothead's pot and you take away a drunk alcohol, shit's gonna hit the roof. And they'd rather people be home drunk and satisfied than trying to sober up and berserk.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, public parks are also part of our constitutional right. We pay for that. Like, I live in an apartment complex. I need to go outside and exercise. They closed my gym at my apartment complex. All I have are the parks. I live on a busy highway. That's the only place I have. I just walk around my apartment complex for 30 minutes. It's not very big, but I'll do it if I have to. But that's the thing. If they're gonna tell me I have to wear a mask when I'm just outside of my door, I can't go for exercise with a mask on. That's dangerous because you can't get when you're running or jogging. So.
Oh, sounds like the natives are restless over there. Mama T's. Well,
okay.
Well, I will say this. As I've often said, these are as bad as they're getting, but I'm just really concerned. That's why I talk about these like legalized sort of crimes. So these are technically not illegal, but they're so close to being illegal or not worth it. Like I said, if you got to go to my thing, like if you got to go to a private island to do your legal business, it's probably not worth it. But let's talk about a happy note, a positive note, and the moral of today that Jill sent to me. Hey,
hello. That's what I do.
Hey,
it's
very
a
good.
Minecraft mountain. Minecraft mountain away.
Hello. So the lesson for today is that I release myself of all judgments. Is that what it was?
I can't remember. I texted it to you. Let me look it up. It's just I release all judgment. I
release all judgment. So for now, the craziness that people are experiencing, I let it go. For now, the way the government is trying to catch up with this epidemic, I let it go. And my personal anxiety of what's going on, I let it go. But I am watching. I'm watching, I'm listening, and I'm making sure that, I'm making sure that they don't cross that line because it's very easy to, and we got an election coming up. Bernie Sanders officially dropped out of the race today. So hopefully by November, if we're still dealing with this situation, that we'll still be all around the board, because if we have problems with voting, chaos going. So now I release all judgment, and I choose the ladies. I invite you to do the same if you would like to release all judgment. How do you feel? Jill was saying that she was having trouble with the idea of releasing all judgment. Are you feeling better now that you've had a few hours to think about it, or you're still a bit of I can't quite do it?
I'm doing better on releasing the judgment of other people, of the way that they're acting, because everybody handles things differently. I mean, it's hard for me to not judge people that are outright rude, because there's no need to be rude. If I say hello to you, I'm not going to give you the virus. I'm saying I want to say hello when I'm out walking, because I'm in my apartment by myself for all day. I go to the grocery store, I want to say hello when I walk past somebody in the aisle. And people have gotten real nasty, so it's hard for me not to pass judgment, but I'm trying.
And I understand how that is. My husband doesn't understand. When I go to the grocery store, I'm there for 3 hours, and he's like, you went for 4 items. Like, what did you need? And I'm like, well, I went down this aisle and I ended up talking to this person for 20 minutes. And then I go down this aisle and we had a conversation about that for 20 minutes, and then it just time gets away from me. It's the need to have a conversation, because this little girl, no matter how much I love her, no matter how much I enjoy the kisses, the snuggles, she doesn't hold a conversation very well. Right. And the other the minion, like, you can't talk to anything that's not like simple enough for him to wrap his mind around and have a human conversation.
How many times can you talk about Paw Patrol?
He's more into Legos. He likes Paw Patrol, but he's more into like Legos and. I hate. Right now, with the boys that I'm watching, he does a lot of zombies and Pennywise.
Whoa, hey, he has something in common with you. Zombies and Pennywise. That is definitely right up there with her. Well, I'm going to.
But he has nightmares about Pennywise, apparently. But then the very next day he'll just start talking about Pennywise and how he's gonna go kill Pennywise and how he wants to watch more videos about Pennywise, but then I can't, I had nightmares about him. I never want to see him again. Let's go talk about Pennywise for 4 hours.
How old is he?
What?
He's 6.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I came up. Michael Jackson's Thriller was the first horror thing I saw. Scared me like crazy. I couldn't sleep well for like a year and a half. But the Thriller jacket was super popular, so I wound up getting a Thriller jacket because everybody had a Thriller jacket. So I was scared of the video, but I had to have a Thriller jacket.
After the last Halloween Horror Nights, I actually went and watched Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Mm.
Well, I fell asleep during it. That's how boring it was.
Oh goodness!
Oh,
I woke up and Jonathan's sitting there just watching. I'm like, Jonathan, you shouldn't be watching this. He's like, but I want to. It's cool. I like it. Look at those silly clowns. And I'm like,
he likes clowns, I guess.
yeah, it's pretty cool. It's not so bad.
So I think I'm gonna have
all right.
Once he can comprehend, I think I'm gonna have a horror night here.
Yeah.
Well, if that happens, he'll have a wonderful friend with Jill Lantern there. So let me end this because I gotta go eat. Thank you, ladies, very much for joining in. I always appreciate you guys come in, share your input, and remember, all inputs are very welcome. And so thank you, Jill Lantern, for sharing your input. I know you were hesitant about it. Mama T, thank you very much for and wrangling the little ones and things like that. It's we're almost done with the first full week of April. So we're surely getting through this, and being able to interact with you guys is really helpful. So thank you so much for joining these streams and things like that. Oh, and hopefully I will hear from Amazon. So once again, thank you, Jill Lantern, for joining in. Thank you, Mama T, for joining in. Thank you, anyone who watches or rewatches this live stream. And remember, find inspiration everywhere. Good night, ladies.
Good night. Bye.